a little while ago when I was talking about Nintendo basically cock-blocking all Let's Players doing anything that was Nintendo related? If it was a Nintendo branded game and you were doing a Let's Play of it, they were like earning ad revenue on that. Pow! They were like, get that shit the fuck out of here. Well, it turns out that Nintendo might have had a change of heart. And I was like, that's kind of fucking cool. It turns out that recently, you know, despite all the fucking arguing people have had, like, for it and against it and all that shit coming to a head and just blowing the fuck up and people just getting really fucking angry about it and defensive about it. Well, it seems that Nintendo may have done a 180 because some of the initial people that had brought this to light, and then, you know, it got around the internet really fucking quickly, have since then, their videos have been remonetized, and other people have uploaded newer videos of Let's Plays, shit like Animal Crossing and new Super Luigi U on Nintendo Wii U, and things of that nature. They've uploaded this stuff, and it hasn't been denied. It's been monetized, and nothing's come in. There's been no flags thrown down. So, this is actually a good thing in a lot of ways. I understand that there's still going to be people saying, well, they don't deserve blah 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 and shit like that. And that's all fine and good, but genuinely, in my opinion, like I had said in my previous video, I felt that it would have just been smarter if they left it alone, because ultimately, at the end of the day, it's free advertising. That's how I look at it. Is if you have somebody that does Let's Play videos and does them all the time, and they're a big time YouTuber, say the motherfucker has like several million subscribers, and each video that's uploaded at a bare minimum is getting like 500,000 views. That's a lot of people that may not have heard of one of those titles and now are going to express and gain interest within that title. I just figured, leave it the fuck alone, you know? Just be happy people are out there playing it, they like it so much that they went and they bought it and they want to share it with the entire world. Just leave it the fuck be. That's how I look at it. Whether you like Let's Play videos or not, you know, if you don't like them, then you just don't fucking watch them. There you go. Problem solved. There's a lot of shit on the internet I really don't fucking like watching and reading and anything like that. So, you know what I do? I don't check it out. But this is a really good thing. Genuinely, Nintendo's been seriously good within the past couple years about trying to keep in everybody's good graces. And this is a good way of going about that. Like, whenever they even went and were making those flags initially, I didn't see the gain out of it. I really didn't. I didn't see it because it was like, okay, Nintendo's going to be taking the ads off of it, and Nintendo's going to be placing the ads, but they have to pay to be able to have that advertising space, so they're not even gaining money out of it. It's just, it made no fucking sense whatsoever. In addition, you were just pissing off the person who did the Let's Plays, their entire fan base, and then people who just saw stuff like that and thought, wow, you're a bunch of fucking assholes. And, you know, naturally, a lot of people were talking about the greed train, but, you know, I'll be the first to say, it couldn't really be about greed because they weren't gaining anything out of it if it's their own ads that they were placing on it. It was just a backwards-ass mentality that made no fucking sense. I'm honestly hoping that this stays the way that it is. And especially since, you know, their competition is all about, right, trying to share video game footage on various platforms and stuff like that. So Nintendo should really try to go about that same route. I mean, there are die-hard loyal Nintendo fans and have been since the 80s. You want to maintain that. You really do. You don't want to pop that fucking bubble and then bleed out everywhere. It'd be terrible, messy. People are going to be knee-deep in fucking, like, flesh and bodily fluids and shit, and that's just nasty as fuck. You basically get yourself a fucking canoe and go and get out of there, and it'll be like the most wicked awesome looking fucking Cannibal Corpse cover you've ever seen. Canoeing, wait, what could the song be called? It'd be like, canoeing down a river of corpses, or some shit like that. After a person like this. I feel like that's fucking amazing, or churning the brains of the fucking wicked. Like, that's awesome too. Sorry, death metal's so awesome, it really is. Anyway, so, Nintendo doing a 180. Do you think that this is going to stay the way it is? Do you think that they learned their lesson just because of the backlash that had happened instantaneously just from hearing that? And despite the fact there were people that came to their defense, and there was a lot of people that just didn't give a shit whatsoever because they were like, Let's Plays, don't give a fuck. Nintendo, don't give a fuck. There's a lot of not giving a fuck right now. I'm currently in the gray area, not giving a fuck, and all of you can just do your thing. I'm gonna have a waffle. And despite the fact that person was having a waffle, there was still a big time fucking war going on of people pro and against and shit like that. So do you think Nintendo has learned their lesson and it's going to remain the way that it is? Or do you think that at some point down the road that they're going to change their mind and try to redo this maybe? I'm going to opt for they're not going to do it later on. I think that they have learned their lesson because it would make no sense to see the backlash and then be like, we'll wait it out and then do it again because, you know, they'll forget and change their mind because the news will just happen all over again and it'll just be like, you know, a rerun. A really terrible rerun. That ruins our reputation and loses us shitloads of money and fans in the process, and we can't really afford to do something like that, now can we? It's not business smart, so that's my thought on it. But anyway, so Let's Players, if you plan on going and uploading anything Nintendo, looks like you're going to be safe. So anyway, this is Alpha Omega Sin, as always, with good news no less. Nerds, nerdettes, and gamers, game the fuck on.